Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Educational Opportunity Program's Academic Success Network here at Binghamton University. My name is Ryan Mead. In this episode, I'm going to be talking with first-year student at Binghamton University, Anta Tall. Anta, while she came to Binghamton University in our summer bridge program, BEP, in 2020, she's a rising sophomore from Yonkers, New York. This year, she'll be working our summer bridge program, BEP, as a peer counselor. Anta intends to pursue a career in pharmacy and is looking to major in pharmaceutical science at Binghamton University's School of Pharmacy. After she graduates, she wants to give back to her community by working in a hospital where she can take care of newborns as a neonatal pharmacist. So, welcome, Anta, to the EOP's Academic Success Network.
It's nice to be here.
All right. So my first question is, what made you decide on applying and ultimately attending Binghamton University following high school?
Well, the main thing that attracted me to Binghamton was its reputation as a public Ivy. And me, I'm an individual who takes my studies pretty seriously. So I wanted to make sure that I got a good education. And not to mention, I feel like Binghamton has a good class diversity. And by that, I mean that at Binghamton, you'll have individuals from many walks of life, the suburbs, urban areas, international. And I really like that because I knew that for myself, I didn't want to live in a bubble all of my life.
No, definitely. I hear that. Binghamton, when I came here as a graduate student, it was a culture shock. I grew up in a very isolated area, and there was people from not only all over the state, all over the world. So I could definitely see that. So when you came to Binghamton University, to the campus in the fall 2020 semester, what was one thing that you weren't expecting to see?
Well, I felt like the college environment in general was new to me. So I was not used to carrying a laptop everywhere. I wasn't used to huge lecture halls. And, these were things that I never experienced in high school. So it was like I transitioned from depending on a pen and paper to relying on technology for everything. And of course, our circumstances with COVID during the fall did not help that either. So I honestly felt like the college experience that I idolized in my head, like being able to freely socialize, not having to worry about potentially catching or carrying a disease, all of those things, it wasn't my reality. And that alone took some time for me to adjust to.
No, I definitely hear you on that. Basically, your experience is much different from every other preceding classes, and not only in terms of the fear of COVID, but as you're saying too, the more reliance on technology, that more focus from, moving from pen to paper to screens can also be, very difficult as well. So you are an alum of EOP's Summer Bridge Program, BEP. You were in BEP 2020. How did BEP help prepare you for tackling Binghamton University in the fall semester and now in the spring semester?
Well, first off, I would like to say that BEP has helped me adjust not just academically to college life, but of course socially. And this was before I even stepped foot onto campus. So BEP is a summer program, as you know, and I honestly felt like BEP was my second home because during the summer I had already developed so many close relationships with my peers in the program, of course, as well as faculty that run the program. So for me, coming onto campus, I already felt like I was at home and I already felt like I belonged to a community. And, typically college freshmen are anxious about starting over, not just being away from home, but having to make new friends. And I felt like BEP and, of course, EOP in general really alleviated me from all of those stressors.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you. And your BEP or BEP was unique again in that it was the first virtual one. But, as you're saying, your experience is actually mirroring a lot of, older students who were on campus, but also worked in creating those networks, creating those social networks, those friendships, analyzing and assessing what resources they can utilize. So by the time, you stepped foot on the campus, you were prepared. So I'm glad that you were able to get that, even virtually in terms of that. All right. So EOP, not only during the summer, but also during the regular semesters, provides students with numerous resources, such as private tutors, academic coaches, academic workshops, and math review sessions. How have you used these resources during your first year at Binghamton University, and how have they helped?
My PC counselor during BEP was amazing. I'm going to start off by saying that. I always came to her for advice whenever I needed guidance or just someone to talk to. And of course, the math review sessions have helped me tremendously because I felt like they were my study sessions that were already like predetermined for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, the math review sessions aren't taught by peer tutors, or taught by, people who have experience as instructors here at Binghamton University. So, and have taught, classes that, they're taking, that students are taking as well. All right. So, one question I always have is, I know that there's students out there who are reluctant to use these academic resources for numerous reasons. What would you tell these students about, utilizing these academic resources and why they should, in fact, use them?
I would tell them to go for it while they're still here. I definitely understand why there might be certain reasons why individuals may not want to reach out. For one, I too could be a pretty shy person, but I would just say that we are super lucky to have these resources, that regular admitted students basically fight for because there's so little of them available. And, these resources are going to help you stay on top of your assignments, so might as well just go for it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as I like to tell people too, we're one of the very few, I think one of two places on campus that offers our students one-on-one private tutoring. Most other students on campus have to utilize group tutoring. So we are always making sure that we provide those resources to students. So I want to move on. I know that you are in the process of training to be a peer counselor for this year's Summer Bridge Program BEP or BEP, where you're going to be working with incoming first year students. Why did you want this position, and what do you hope to gain out of it?
I wanted this position because, as someone in a single parent household, I do have a single father, and of course, as a first generation college student, I know how hard things could get at times. And personally, my PC was always there for me when I just needed someone to keep me motivated. And honestly, I would love to continue that cycle and be that person for someone else.
Awesome. Thank you. So, this is going to be my last, straight up question. What does it mean to you to be a successful student at Binghamton University? And oh, yep, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think success, like, it ultimately just boils down to consistency and hard work. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to ask, what does it take to attain that success?
Yeah, so of course, Binghamton is known to be an academically challenging university, but I would say you shouldn't let that intimidate you. As long as you're putting your best foot forward and you're trying your hardest to develop good study habits, you'll find your way. And I would like to end by saying a quote that I always tell myself is one task, one step, and one day at a time.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much. Is there anything else that you wanted to say to EOP students at Binghamton University, either incoming or already here, or even EOP students across New York State?
Yes, I would like to tell everybody out there, you got this. Sometimes we may get into our heads too much, we may be too hard on ourselves, or we may even doubt our capabilities, but I'm here to tell you that you are more than capable.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming and being part of EOP's Academic Success Network at Binghamton University. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope all is well. Goodbye.